All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started momentarily. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the State Treasurer's Office webinar series, Inside the Vault, Resources for Local Leaders. My name is Christian Daly, and I'm the STO's External Affairs Manager. If this is your first webinar with us, welcome. And to those that have joined us before, welcome back. A few housekeeping notes before we get started. This webinar is being recorded and it will be made available afterwards. The information shared today will be sent to all in attendance and to those that are registered. And we encourage you to drop your questions, if you have them, into the Q&A chat. As you see, we have a treasure trove of information lined up for you. As we move through today's webinar, you'll hear about an update on some of our programs and other initiatives, as well as learn about two great resources within the Golden State. Learning something new that can benefit those that you serve, or even your own household. As always, we hope you have a eureka moment, like a California-specific aha moment. This webinar will be as interactive as it is informative, as we have a few polls for you to engage with us. With that said, let's open up this vault. All right, first poll. What is your preferred work soundtrack? Poll is up and let's see the choices. Is it music, silence, podcasts, or coffee shop background noise? Let's see. Give folks a few more moments to weigh in. All right, I think we have a clear winner, and that being silence. Well, whichever is your preferred soundtrack, we're glad that our webinar is coming through your speakers today. On to our next poll. What audience do you serve most frequently? Would it be children and families, or older adults, or another group? Let's see. Okay, still a little early and polls are shifting, so let's see which will be the majority. I think we can call it there. Looks like it's mixed populations. Well, we hope you will share the information you will hear today with the audiences that you work with. Now, sharing what's new with the STO, and starting off with the second annual CWAS Summit. On April 17th, leaders across California convened at the second annual California Early Wealth Account System Summit, or CWAS for short, hosted by the UCLA Cal Kids Institute. The summit brought together policymakers, educators, researchers, and community partners to explore how early wealth building programs are expanding opportunity and strengthening pathways to long-term financial security. Throughout the day, participants examined the evolution and impact of child savings accounts and child development accounts, including the continued expansion of Cal Kids and some of our other youth-focused savings programs. Sessions featured new research, real-world case studies, and cross-sector dialogue focused on how these programs can be strengthened, scaled, and sustained statewide. Creative Economy. On May 29th, the STO hosted the Creative Economy Finance Network convening, setting the stage for those in the creative sector to gain support and direction on how to produce viable ventures. Attendees were able to build their networks and gain valuable insight on financing and funding pathways, such as the STO's California Capital Access Program. During Treasurer Ma's administration, the STO has helped creatives access over $46 million for their projects and ventures. This is all in support of the state's creative economy, which generates $288 billion and adds over 800,000 jobs to our workforce. And finally, honoring Earth Day. The STO, through the pooled money investment account, invested $150 million in a 5-year Inter-American Development Bank Sustainability Bond in honor of Earth Day. The sustainability bond will support the bank's mission to improve lives in Latin America and the Caribbean. The proceeds will be used for economic and social development and to support efforts in reducing poverty and inequality in a sustainable manner. All right, I think it's time for another poll, everyone. How long has it been since your last Disneyland visit? Has it been within the past year, or have you never been but would love to go? Let's see. Right when I want to call it, it always shifts. Answers are still coming in, but it's pretty close, but I believe we have a majority with more than 5 years ago. Well, our next presenter will share some information that brings together the magic of Disneyland and driving, all for a great cause. I'll now like to pass it to Carolyn Abubashara, Executive Director for the California Health Facilities Financing Authority. Carolyn?
Thank you, Christian, and thank you for inviting me to speak at the State Treasurer's Office Inside the Vault webinar. My name is Carolyn Abubashara, and I am the Executive Director of the California Health Facilities Financing Authority, also known as CHFA. So CHFA, or we are one of the financing authorities in the Treasurer's Office that is chaired by State Treasurer Fiona Ma, and we provide financial assistance to public and private nonprofit healthcare providers through numerous loan, grant, and tax-exempt financing programs. And now we're adding a very exciting new grant program at CHFA. Many of you have heard, but if not, we at CHFA are collaborating with Disneyland Resort and the California Children's Hospital Association to raise funds for children's hospitals across the state through the sales of a Disneyland-themed license plate or specialized license plate for California registered vehicles. In today's webinar, I'll describe the Disneyland license plate benefiting Children's Hospital program we're developing, explain why this program matters, how it will work, and how Californians can help make it a reality. On to the next slide. Why does this program matter? So children's hospitals play an essential role in caring for California's youngest and most vulnerable and critically ill patients. Every year, these hospitals provide life-saving treatments, specialized care, and ongoing support to thousands of children and their families. While insurance covers many medical services, there are important needs that often go unfunded. These include, for example, one, salary support for certain healthcare professionals, such as art and music therapists, in-hospital educators, and child life specialists, etc. Also for clinical education and workforce training costs, such as pediatric residency and fellowship programs, specialty and certification training, simulation-based education, interdisciplinary training for nurses and allied professionals, and related clinical training equipment used to support the quality and safety of pediatric care. Also, I would cover activities that help children maintain a sense of normalcy during their treatment, such as helping kids participate in arts, crafts, and celebrating birthdays. And also for accessibility improvements. A good example would be wheelchair accessible playgrounds. But most importantly, this program will create an additional funding source for CHFA without having to tap into the state's general fund to pay for essential costs incurred by the children's hospitals that are not covered or funded to help strengthen the services the children's hospitals provide every day. So how does the license plate help accomplish that goal? So about the license plate. So this program offers Californians a unique opportunity to purchase a California specialty license plate that will incorporate a Disneyland designed image. By purchasing the plate, California drivers will have an opportunity to show their Disneyland pride while also supporting children's hospitals across California. Today, Walt Disney's legacy is reflected in Disney's commitment to delivering moments of happiness and comfort to seriously ill children around the world. To date, Disney has committed $100 million to more than 1,700 children's hospitals and pediatric places of care in 45 countries to provide enchanting installations, themed hospital gowns, new theatrical releases, toy deliveries, and hospital visits, to name a few. This specialized license plate continues the legacy of support for children and their families in California. It's a simple idea with a meaningful impact. One license plate helping improve the care of children and their families throughout the state. So let's take a look at how the funding will flow from the license plate purchase to children's hospitals. Once the program is approved by the DMV and operational, the process is straightforward. So first, vehicle owners will purchase or renew a specialty plate. A portion of those fees will be directed to the program fund at CHAFA. Funds will then be allocated proportionally according to an established formula among the participating children's hospitals. Then the children's hospitals will apply and submit an application for grant funding to CHAFA. The applications will be reviewed according to program regulations to ensure funds are to be used appropriately and effectively. Then hospitals will use those funds for the approved healthcare and patient support services. This structure helps ensure that the funds generated by the license plate are directed toward meaningful programs that benefit the critically ill children of California. You may be wondering when the public will be able to order these plates, so let's talk about the timeline. So the new specialty plates must go through a detailed approval process before they can be issued. The first step has already occurred. We at CHAFA have submitted our application to the DMV. The DMV is currently in the review process, and the review process can take between 6 to 8 months, but we hope to expedite that as much as we can to cut the timeframes where it depends on us. And then if approved, a statewide pre-order campaign will begin, where you will be able to pre-order plates on CHAFA's website. California law requires at least 7,500 prepaid applications before production can move forward. Once that milestone is achieved, CHAFA will submit the completed pre-order package to the DMV. And then the DMV will then complete a number of administrative manufacturing programming tasks, which generally take an additional 10 to 12 months, which we hope to expedite as well. After those steps are complete, plates will be produced and delivered to individuals who pre-ordered them. And then at that point, the plates will become available for direct purchase through the DMV's website. So if you'd like to follow the program's progress, there are several ways to stay informed. Join our interest list. So on this website, the easiest way to stay connected is by visiting the website shown on this slide or scanning the QR code, and then join the interest list. And then by signing up, you'll receive email updates on key milestones, including the DMV approval status, pre-order launch dates, and information about when the plates become available. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. So at its heart, this program is about helping children. Every specialty license plate purchased represents more than a vehicle registration choice. It represents support for critically ill children and families facing some of life's greatest challenges. The funds generated through this program will help children's hospitals provide care, comfort, and hope to patients throughout California. Together, we can create a new source of funding for children's hospitals while giving Californians a meaningful way to show their Disney pride. Thank you, and back to you, Christian.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn, for giving us that overview of CHAFA's exciting new venture. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A chat. Widening the focus to California's youth and young adults. At age 18, what financial asset would have made the biggest difference in your life? Poll is up. Let's see what the majority will be. Give it a few more moments for the answers to come in. Let's see, I think we have a clear majority here. And looks like that was education savings. Well, our next presenter will share some information that helps carve out a path to a better future for California's youth. I'd like to pass it to Cassandra D. Benedetto, Acting Executive Director for the California Hope, Opportunity, Perseverance, and Empowerment for Children Trust Account Program. Cassandra?
Thank you, Christian, and thank you all for joining us today and for having me on Inside the Vault. I'm, as Christian said, Cassandra De Benedetto. I'm the acting executive director for the Hope Trust Account Program, which is one of the newest programs to come online in the state treasurer's office. The Hope for Children Trust Account Program provides $3,000 in unrestricted fund to qualified youth. This program was created to help close the racial wealth gap and confront the issue of intergenerational poverty, especially among some of the most vulnerable youth in the state of California. So, who qualifies for the HOPE program? There are two categories. The first one is foster youth. So foster youth who are California residents and in foster care on or after September 27th of 2022, if they were born before September 27th, 2024, they are not eligible. So you had to be under 18 on September 27th, 2022. They must have been in foster care for more than 18 months. Those months do not need to be consecutive and are no longer receiving family reunification services. The exception to the 18-month rule are children who are placed into foster care after age 16 and for whom family reunification services have been terminated. The next group of youth who are eligible for this program are those youth who lost a parent, legal guardian, or Indian custodian to COVID-19 contracted during the federally declared public health emergency. Those dates are January 31st, 2020 to May 11th, 2023. This includes parents who contracted COVID during the federally declared public health emergency, but passed away later from the effects of COVID-19. Those youth must have been under 18 and a resident of California when their parent or guardian passed, and the family's income must have been at or below the Medi-Cal for Children limit formula. What can you do with HOPE funds? HOPE funds are entirely flexible. They can be used for housing, education, basic needs, whatever the youth determines that they will use the funds for, the funds are available to them to be used. They are issued as a check that is sent via mail to the youth. These funds are not counted as income when determining eligibility for state benefits such as Medi-Cal, SNAP, and Cal Grants. HOPE is designed to work alongside other supports, not replace them. The funds stay invested in an account for the youth, but at age 18, they are available for withdrawal, and they remain available for withdrawal until the youth turns 27. For additional information, we hope you will join us on our website, www.hopeaccount.ca.gov. You can also contact us and follow us on our social media platforms to learn more about the HOPE program. Thank you, Christian. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Cassandra, for sharing that vital information to help foster youth and COVID bereaved youth in the Golden State. Now, let's see if we have any questions from our attendees. Seeing none in the Q&A chat section, give it a moment or two and see if any questions pop up. All right, we'll move forward, but if there are any questions, we'll happily answer them offline. Now, we have a couple of questions for you. We'd love to know how we can better serve you and your respective communities, keeping these webinars tuned to meet your needs. Which STO program area do you want to learn more about? Poll is up, and we have our choices before us. As the poll begins to shift, we thank you for your feedback. Also, we love your input on today's webinar. We're dropping a survey link into the chat. Please open the link and provide your feedback. It's a quick survey, only 3 questions. I'll give folks a few moments to find the link, click it, and open it. Again, thank you for your feedback. We'd like to thank you for your time joining us for our Inside the Vault webinar series. If you had a eureka moment and would like to partner with us to share this information with your community, or if you have questions that pop up later, email us at askfiona@treasurer.ca.gov. If you have any questions, we're just an email away. Visit our website to learn even more about our office and the resources available to you. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter to see our work around the state. Lastly, be on the lookout for an email with information on the programs you heard about today and an invitation to our next webinar in September. Thank you for the vital work that you do for your communities and for joining with us for the past 2 years to improve the lives of Californians. Have a great day and an enjoyable summer.